Rise and shine, Tennessee. It is Championship Saturday. Live from the Murphy Center on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University. It's the Blue Cross Basketball Championships presented by First Bank.
He's going to take it himself for a championship.
A double play wins it from Frazier. Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. McKinnon's on touchdown. Wins it. The championship.
Live from the Glass House here on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University, it's the Blue Cross Basketball Championships presented by First Bank, and it's the big boys up first. Division I 4A State Championship. The Cookeville Cavaliers and the Independence Eagles, a couple of 30-win teams, duking it out for their first gold ball in school history. What is going on, everybody, and welcome courtside here at the Murphy Center with Kayla Anderson and my partner, Vincent Yarborough. I'm Jake Rose. Thank you for joining us this morning on the NFHS Network. Now, Vince, these schools have taken different routes to get here. Independence was in this game last year, but lost by 12 to Memphis Overton. However, Cookeville's never been here before. They have not been in the state tournament in 70 years. What do you got on tap for us today?
I think that Indy has a little bit of an advantage being here last year, being in the preparation, knowing what to do, knowing how it feels. But Cookeville has to come in with a ton of confidence. They just knocked off a top 25 opponent in Bartlett, and I think they should come in ready to play. They have good size, good energy, and we'll see if they have enough in the tank.
And let's take a look at our Tennessee Highway Safety Office keys to the game. Vince, what do you got your eye on tonight?
For Independence, I think they have to stop the balanced attack of Cookeville. They've had 5 guys that score in double figures throughout the tournament. And for Cookeville, it's just for Independence making sure that they have a secondary scoring threat. We know Jet Montgomery is going to come out and light it up, but who else is going to step up? For Cookeville, the keys have to slow down Jet. And he's averaging 24.5 for the tournament. And it's just an all-around great player. With a hard-fought battle yesterday, we'll see if they have enough energy in the tank to take it down the stretch.
And there is absolutely no shortage of talent in this ball game between Independence and Cookeville. But when we talk about key players to watch, you mentioned Jet Montgomery, the Southern Miss commit, but who else catches your eye in this one?
Well, Tylen Lewis for Independence, almost a freak athlete, really defends well. Coaches really depended on him to put up some good numbers to get him over the hump. For Cookeville, you got Josh Hurd to do it all for them. Missed one shot in the semis, and he's going to have a terrific game tonight.
We've got the Division I 4A State Championships coming up next on the NFHS Network. It's the Blue Cross Basketball Championships presented by First Bank. Welcome back to the Murphy Center here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Moments away from the tip of the Division I 4A Boys State Final. But first, let's meet our starting lineups and send it over to public address announcer John Rice. From the Eagles cheerleaders and Cavaliers cheerleaders. And now it's time to meet the starting lineups for Independence and Cookeville. Time to meet the third member of our crew, Kayla Anderson. Kayla, what you got?
Oh, you guys, we're in for a treat today. A battle of two Middle Tennessee teams, and the crowds are rocking. Let's start with Independence. Very familiar with this spot, but fell short of bringing home that gold ball this last year. Senior Jet Montgomery said, this is a different year. We feel comfortable. We've been here before. On the other side, though, Cookeville, never been here before. Their last state appearance in the tournament, 1954. But Josh Hurd has his guys believing. Whose will it be today? We'll find out. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kayla. And this place is absolutely rocking for this Division I Class 4A final between Cookeville and Independence. Both teams vying for their first ever state title in basketball. And we are rolling from the Glass House, and it's the Cavaliers that win the tip. Cookeville comes into this matchup with a record of 32-3, Region 4, District 7 champions. And this is their first state tournament in 70 years.
Independence coming out man-to-man. See if they can stay with the quickness. Good defense right there.
Jalen Hurd, the junior guard, and the younger brother of senior forward Josh Hurd, both the sons of head coach Josh Hurd in his 5th year running the show in Cookeville. And taken away by Jalen on the defensive end. Quick corner three off the mark from Jack Oakley. And Cookeville with the offensive board. It's Colin Ayers. And Ayers strikes first.
Big time rebound right there by Ayers. Able to get Hicks off his feet and then step by him for the easy deuce.
Both of these teams love to shoot the three ball. They both really like to get out in transition and let that defense lead to quick offense.
They do, and we've seen a couple of them earlier this year already.
The Independence Eagles 31-6, the Region 5 District 10 champions. And they were in this game a season ago, as Kayla mentioned, lost by 12 to Memphis Overton. So they've had this mantra that they've had all season of 13 more.
Absolutely. Cookeville comes out and puts their best defender, Bennett Reeves, on Jet, try to take him out of there, but they're leaving some other things, some gaps open with Corbin Whalen, able to get easy deuce.
Wally on one end, and then Bennett Reeves on the other.
Fantastic shot by Reeves. Reverse, right hand, scoop shot, difficulty 10.
Walling getting his feet set, and back-to-back buckets for the senior forward. Ayers stops, corner three. Reeves thought about it. And a late whistle on the block from Houston Hicks as Bennett Reeves hit the deck. First foul on Hicks.
I think Hicks got him with the lower part of the body. The top was clean, got it with 2 hands, but the lower body bump is what drew the foul for him.
There's head coach Mark Wilkins of Independence in his 3rd year, leading this Eagles program. Spent 6 years at South Gibson High School.
Reeves has come out on fire. First 5 points for Cookeville. Has to be a great look for the coach to know that their 3rd leading scorer is leading the charge right now.
Yeah, and he was scoreless in that semifinal win against Bartlett on Thursday. Pull-up jumper rattles home for Jet Montgomery. And
that's just too easy for Jet. Any open shot, he's going to knock that down probably 70-80%. So you have to make sure you stay between him and the goal.
Southern Miss commit is the leading scorer for this Eagles squad. 21 points per contest for Montgomery. 3 on the way in the corner from Oakley. Shooter's roll.
Very, very soft touch. Excellent kick out there again by Reeves. Able to find the open shooter. Exactly what they wanted to do.
Head coach Josh Hurd says Jack Oakley is the best shooter that he has ever coached. as this foul is going against Cookeville, as Bennett Reeves, his coach calls him fearless, and we've seen him hit the hardwood a couple of times in the first few minutes.
Yeah, it was great rotation there by Reeves. He may have been there, may have not been, but what Cookeville has come out to do, they come out and they're switching all screens on the perimeter. The last time Jet got a great shot, it was just a breakdown.
It's the Blue Cross Basketball Championships presented by First Bank here from Murfreesboro. Cookeville with an early three-point lead over Independence, and there's a look at Josh Hurd coaching up his Cookeville Cavaliers squad with a 32-3 mark. And Vince, he knew that he had a special squad coming into this season. He said the mantra this year was gold ball thinking, and this whole team is bought in.
With the amount of players that he has, the size, the quickness, the athleticism, the skill, you know that you're in the top 10% of the teams in the state. You know, once you put the ball to the wood and things start rolling, then you have a better feeling. And for him, having his two kids out there, knowing they're going to anchor this team, it has to be a great feeling at least getting here. To seal the deal is going to be another story.
You saw their trip to this state final, knocking off Maryville in the quarterfinal, and a nail-biter against Bartlett yesterday. A two-point win. Shot won't go for Jalen Hurd, and here comes Jet Montgomery. And we have a stoppage of play. I don't think the clock was running appropriately. And here's the road to the show for the Independence Eagles. High scoring game against Laverne in the quarters. And then the big fourth quarter to beat Rossview yesterday. 27-17, they outscored Rossview in that fourth quarter. And this is another Independence team that can really put up some points, almost 65 points per contest, and they shoot the ball extremely well. Both of these teams really live behind the arc.
Absolutely. I give the little edge to Cookeville. They defended a top 25 program in Bartlett and held them to 39 points yesterday. And that lets me know that it's going to be a tough offensive assignment here for Independence.
Yeah, a lot of folks saying that was an upset yesterday, the win over Bartlett. Bennett Reeves feeling it early.
Absolutely, and that's what I was talking about in the opener with the balanced attack. You come out and you assume the Herds are going to do it to you, but then you got Reeves stepping up with 11 points already, and it kind of changes the complexion of the game.
Bennett Reeves was just 3 of 21 on three-pointers this year, and then Jet Montgomery says, I'll raise you 3.
And that's a big-time shot right there. Quiet the crowd down, get the game back within 3, and let everybody know that I'm here to play.
3-point advantage for Cookeville, and this game could very easily turn into a shooting clinic. Both teams have knocked down three-pointers. Hicks altering the shot of Reeves. Reeves still comes down with it and able to call a timeout.
Excellent alertness there by Reeves. Knew that he had nobody to pass it to. Calls a timeout.
And look at Jet Montgomery. NBA range.
That's just showing his range. You got to make sure that with a guy like that committed to Southern Miss, you know he can put the ball in the hole. You can't allow him to raise up. You have to contest every shot. You have to be at him with a hand up, not down, hand down, always man down.
Jet Montgomery, the leading scorer in Independence High School history, over 2,700 points for the senior guard. You are watching live coverage of the Blue Cross Basketball Championships presented by First Bank on the NFHS Network. NFHSnetwork.com is your destination for the most comprehensive coverage of high school sports. From live games to full game replays to highlights, it's all there at NFHSnetwork.com. With Kayla Anderson and Vincent Yarborough, I'm Jake Rose. Thank you for joining us. Game number 1 of our championship quadruple header Saturday here at the Murphy Center, starting things off with the 4A game. A heads-up play followed out of bounds by Dawson Miller. And now the call being reversed, but now the officials, I think, are going to talk it over. But just playing it the wrong way, I think. Tonight's officials, Kyle Barnes, Greg Mathis Jr., and Matt Coiner. Independence down by 3. And at the rim again is Corbin Walling.
Big time find right there. Normally looking for the three-pointer, using the good sides on the inside for the easy roll too.
6 early points for the senior forward, coming off a 15.8 rebound performance in the semifinal win against Rossview. 3 on the way from Oakley.
Excellent look. Excellent look.
Came into this tournament having connected on 94 three-pointers as Montgomery is fouled on the three-pointer.
You got to make sure that you're contesting all of his shots, but you can't be a little bit too aggressive. Knowing that you have to stop him, you can't allow him to get going. Two easy threes in the first half may ignite him, so they had to contest really hard.
Jet Montgomery, the senior, hits his first free throw, and he has had an excellent tournament here so far. 26 points in the quarterfinal win to go along with 6 assists, so he can also distribute the ball really well. And then that semifinal game against Rossview, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 three-pointers.
He's the absolute heart and soul of their team. He's the reason they were here last year. He's the reason that they got back to this point right now. Like we talked about in the open, they have to have somebody that steps up and is able to help carry some of that scoring load with him.
Montgomery with 8 early points. All the scoring for the Eagles have come between Walling and Montgomery. Tough shot from Colin Ayers.
Big time shot. Just raises up over Lewis, who's the bigger, stronger defender, and great screen right there by Cookeville.
I was talking to Josh Hurd, the head coach for the Cavaliers last night. He said that Colin Ayers' pull-up game is elite. You saw it right there.
Absolutely. Smaller guard, but has great elevation. Knows what spot he wants to get to and gets there.
Jaron Davis, the 6th man for this Cookeville squad, missed on the Euro step. And again, both these teams want to get out in transition. If there's a loose ball, they are both gunning for it. But then once they get into the half court, they tend to slow things down and run their offense.
They do, and that's credit to the coaches. Both teams are very, very good at executing what they want to run. It may end up in a three-pointer, but what they're looking to do, they're going to come down the court and get it every time.
Corbin Walling putting the defender in the spin cycle. 8 points here early for Corbin Walling. Independence trails by 1. 1 minute left here in the first quarter. And if you're watching on TV, all of Thompson Station, Tennessee, and most of Putnam County are here in the Murphy Center, making the trek to Rutherford County to watch their schools compete for what would be their first state title for both of these teams in boys basketball. And Cookeville content to hold for the last shot. Josh Hurd at half court.
I think they want to hold it, run it down, and then get their 2 starters back in the game.
Walling working on that 5 count.
Because the coach hasn't pulled them back from the scores table yet.
Hurd on the drive, taking it himself to the rack.
First points there by Josh, big time player. Lincoln Memorial commit. If they can get him going, Independence going to have a tough night.
Montgomery just missed on the 3 at the break. And the Cookeville Cavaliers in their first state tournament in 70 years lead by 3 at the end of the first quarter. You're watching the Blue Cross Basketball Championships presented by First Bank on the NFHS Network.
So again, it's been a long partnership and something we hope to continue on.
Well, we're glad to have you on board, and I don't think we could have a championship unless you guys are involved.
Well, we hope to continue to be involved, and we look forward to it.
Thanks, John Mackey.
Coach Ron Bargetzi, one of the great characters in Tennessee basketball lore. Can't get enough of Coach Ron. Cookeville with a 3-point lead to start the second quarter, and traveling being called against Tylen Lewis. Got tied up on the baseline, but Vince, you and I were talking during the break. Cookeville has a 3-point lead. They've knocked down a couple of extra 3-pointers, but really no team has shown their hand or gotten a big advantage in this one so far.
Not at all. Cookeville's made one more shot, and Rebounds are about even. Fouls are about even. There's nothing that has changed the game dramatically. So we're going to settle in for the second quarter to see if somebody can create some separation.
Independence, only 2 players have scored. They each have 8. It's Jet Montgomery and Corbin Walling. Josh Hurd, 2 points in that first quarter coming at the end of the break. Joseph Owens getting his first run tonight. Now Jalen Hurd in trouble. Skip pass to Owens for 3, short. And Hicks lets it go out of bounds. For Independence.
Cookeville does a great job of finding the open player. There's nobody out there looking to ball hog, be selfish. As soon as they see that guy's open, they draw the double team, they kick it immediately.
Lewis driving kick. Montgomery, long 3. Too strong. And cleared by Cookeville. Long stretch pass up to Hurd, and he swiped from behind by Walling.
Walling's having a big-time game on the offense and defensive end. That saved an easy run-out or easy dunk right there that probably could have got Cookeville going and led to a little momentum shift.
Walling closing the gap on Josh Hurd. 6.5 to go here before the break. Davis losing the defender, met at the rim by Hicks. Davis staying with it. Montgomery swiped it, and it's last touched by the Eagles. And checking in is Braden Buck. His coach calls him one of the best shooters in the state. Kid can flat out let it fly. Coming off the bench for this Eagles squad.
Independence has to make sure that they're boxing out on the offensive rebounds. They got 3 offensive rebounds by Cookeville, none by Independence yet. That's showing a little bit of separation.
How about Bennett Reeves? This kid is all over the place as Jet Montgomery draws the foul.
And that could change the complexion of the game. Jet has to be very careful not to pick up 2 or his team goes down and without a scoring threat, a true scoring guard threat.
Just the first on Montgomery as that ball was last touched by Walling. And speaking of Bennett Reeves, Josh Hurd calls him his Swiss Army knife, and that kid has gotten into every nook and cranny so far here in the first half. He is everywhere.
He is offensively, defensively, guarding Jet starting out, and you can just see that he wants this championship.
Said he wasn't sure if Cookeville kept track of charges, but if they did, he's certainly the all-time leader.
How he sets up for the one they call the block, that he knows exactly where to be. His rotations are excellent.
Walling contact, no call, lost it on the way up. And here come the Cavaliers.
Refs are letting them play physical. There's a lot of bumps going to the rim, a lot of bumps at the rim. So you got to play a little bit stronger and not look for the contact call.
5:23 to go in the second quarter. And we will step aside for a media timeout. Cookeville hanging on to that 3-point lead here in the Division I 4A final here in Murfreesboro. You're watching the Blue Cross Basketball Championships on the NFHS Network.
Hey, welcome back to the Blue Cross Boys Championship here on the NFHS Network. I got to tell you about a special friend of mine. His name is Butch Campbell. He has been the clock operator here at the Murphy Center for 50 years, but he's been around athletics his entire career. He was the principal first at Walter Hill for 31 years. He was a middle school teacher, coaching both football and basketball, and now he continues to do what he loves. He was here for the opening of this place in 1972, you guys. He actually helped build the foundation to the Glass House.
And Butch is an absolute staple here at the Murphy Center, and they call it the historic Murphy Center for a reason. A lot of great events have happened here, not just high school state championship games and Middle Tennessee games, but a lot of track and field events, a lot of big-time concerts, and Butch has seen them all, man.
Yes, he has. I can remember from my high school days. I can remember from college coming over here, and now doing these games. Just to see him is just fantastic.
Yeah, for the longest time, it was really the only arena in the Middle Tennessee area. So if you were going to have an event you were going to have it here at the Glass House.
Yes, it will.
Both teams have not scored here in the first 3.5 minutes of the second quarter. Cookeville hanging on to that 3-point lead, making their second state tournament appearance. The last time was 1954 as Jet Montgomery up and under.
Good job. Excellent job there by Jet. Cookeville has to make sure they're staying one step more over in the help position to close that off.
Montgomery now with 10 points, leading all scores. And here's the turnover. Tylen Lewis dropping it off for Montgomery at the rim. Independence on top.
Good job. Good job there by Independence. Tylen Lewis got his hands on the ball, found the hot hand on the court, and Jet was able to put it in.
First lead of the morning for the Eagles. 3 on the way from Hurd, short. Hicks can't come down with that loose ball. And Jalen Hurd has it. Now Josh Hurd for 3, no. But then the offensive rebound and the foul from Jalen.
Amazing move there by Jalen. Off the offensive rebound, turns his body in the air, takes the contact, and still able to get the shot up.
One more time for Jet Montgomery. Getting to the rim. And finishing smooth with the left hand. But now Jalen Hurd is at the line after Jet Montgomery now picked up his second foul.
And that's the one thing that Jet has to be careful of. He can't pick up that third one because he is their catalyst. If he goes out, then they're going to have to go to the bench or go to somebody else and start searching for a leader. And I'm not sure that this is the time that you start searching for a leader at the state championship.
Jalen Hurd, 10.5 points per contest. This in his junior season. The younger brother of Josh Hurd. Knocks down both free throws, and Cookeville back in front by 1, 21-20. And the early goings of this one have been everything that we have expected from the 4A state championship game.
Yes, they have been. Great defense, great offense, execution.
Lewis freed himself up as Josh Hurd took a shot.
Yeah, Lewis is only a point guard, but his size is enough for a little elbow to the face is enough to put you out, put you on the floor for the game.
Yeah, Josh Hurd got popped right in the face by the elbow of Tylen Lewis, and I know Tylen's wearing that padded shooting sleeve, but Josh Hurd didn't feel the padded part, and he's down getting checked on by the training staff and by his head coach and dad, Josh Hurd.
Hopefully he can get it back together. This really changes the game. Their leading player, leading scorer goes out of the game 3 minutes into the second quarter.
And he was so very important in that semifinal game against Bartlett with a game-high 18 points. As we take a look at Jet Montgomery, who has put his talents on display here this morning. 12 points early for the senior guard. But the Cookeville Cavaliers have knocked down 3 threes.
He has, and we knew going into the contest what Jet was going to do. You know, we've had Whaling step up and get 8 points, but now it's going to get to the point where we got to have somebody else. Whaling is slowed down a little bit. Jet is still going, but who else is going to step up?
Montgomery currently getting some air on the bench. Airs no good on the drive. Davis is fouled on the offensive rebound. And Cookeville is absolutely dominating the offensive boards.
Yes,
6 offensive rebounds here early to none.
Independence doing a little bit too much watching. When the ball goes up, everybody's looking up instead of contacting the body, finding your man, and that's the result. 8 offensive rebounds down the stretch. That'll begin to hurt you because it leads to easy free throws, and somebody's picked up the foul.
First foul is against Dawson Miller, his first, and the third team foul against Independence here in the quarter, as Jaron Davis, the 6th man for this Cookeville squad, misses both free throws. A 67% free throw shooter this year.
And that's big. They needed both of those, or at least one of them.
Cookeville extending that man-to-man defense.
They're playing Lewis for the drive, not allowing him to get to the bucket. They're willing to live with his outside shot.
A little bit of zone action, actually, from Cookeville as well. Fighting through the traffic was Dawson Miller.
But the one thing those zones leave open, they do keep you from getting the ball into the paint, but they do leave open angles to the basket, and they take advantage of them right there.
Independence leads by 3, their largest lead so far in this ball game. Reeves to the cup.
Big basket there by Reeves. I hadn't heard anything from him since the first quarter. Came out trying to get it back going. He knows his team needs to step up, especially with the big guy out, and supplies a much-needed bucket.
Reeves was scoreless in the semifinal win against Bartlett yesterday. He has 9 here in the first. Less than 2 minutes remaining before halftime. Shot fake, corner 3 is good. Dawson Miller.
You have to stay on your feet. You got to contest the shot, but you can't go flying at him. Easy pump fake. Triple.
Eagles off and running. Lewis lost it on the way up, and he walked with it.
And that's normally where Lewis is his most dangerous, in transition, using his strength, using his size, getting that shoulder into guys.
Take another look, and Lewis shuffled his feet as that ball skipped over his shoulders. Independence has knocked down 5 straight field goals to take the lead here in the second quarter. Hurd, baseline drive, going to pull up, kicked it off the back of the rim, and rebounded by Lewis.
Cookeville went through a little bit too much isolation before they were moving the ball, and maybe that's the cause of Hurd going out. But somebody's trying to step up, and they need to use more team basketball than just isolation.
Lewis guarded at half court by Jalen Hurd. Jet Montgomery not on the floor for the Independence Eagles for the final couple of minutes, sitting with 2 fouls. And Independence has kept it on rolling.
And it's been huge to have Jet on the bench and still maintain the lead. And those are those quality minutes that the coach needs from those other guys to step up.
Lewis close to getting a 5-second call. Finds his way to the block. Count it!
And that's where he's really good. Isolation, getting to the basket, using his body. At the high school level, you're going to find very few kids that can match up physically with Mr. Tylen Lewis.
Fouls against Bennett Reeves, his second. And Independence has connected on 6 straight field goals as the Eagle faithful have made their presence known. And Lewis misses the freebie. 10 seconds left. Cookeville's got to move. Ayers checked by Lewis. 3 to shoot. Lewis got a hand on it. Hurd's got to put it up. Won't get the shot off in time. But the Eagles come fighting back in the second quarter, outscoring Cookeville 11-6 as they take a 6-point lead into the break. And they did it in the final couple minutes without their best player, Jet Montgomery, on the floor, as Kayla Anderson is with head coach Mark Wilkins for Independence.
Just Network. We'll be right back.
Independence with a 6-point halftime lead after trailing Cookeville by 3 in the first quarter. But a big-time second quarter from the Eagles has them with a 6-point advantage at the break. Vincent Yarborough and Kayla Anderson, I'm Jake Rose. Thanks for joining us. And Vince, that second quarter for Independence, they knocked down 6 straight shots with their best player on the bench for the final 2.5 minutes. But defensively, allowing just 4 points to a Cookeville team that can really put up some points.
Absolutely, and Cookeville kind of played into that a little bit, just going more individually than sharing the ball like they were before. At the beginning of the game, they were getting to the paint, they were kicking it to the open guy and having some success. Once that kind of slowed down, they tried to take it upon themselves a little bit too much, and then Independence was able to create some separation.
Jet Montgomery, the leading scorer in this ball game with 12 points for the Southern Miss commit. Cookeville got off to a hot start, knocked down 3 of their first 4 from behind the arc, as you see Jack Oakley connecting on one of his 2 3-pointers, but they've gone cold in the second quarter.
Yes, they have. Since then, they went 0 for 3, and that's really been the separation in the game. If they can find a way to knock down some open shots, to get out in transition and get some easy buckets, then they can close that gap and make it a little tighter going down the stretch.
And Dawson Miller, the former JV player, coming in and hitting a big 3-pointer for the Independence Eagles, as we take a look at our first bank stats from the first half. And you see it right there. Cookeville shooting 43% from behind the arc, but shooting just 34% from the floor as a team.
Yes, and that's kind of the discrepancy in the game. You have to make sure that both teams came in wanting to be 3-point shooting shots. If you're going to do that, you have to at least make sure you make them, or you got to change the game plan. And you can't go through 4 or 5 minutes when you're going 0 for 3, 0 for 4, and expect to stay with the game, stay with a team like Independence. And
Jalen and Josh Hurd, arguably the 2 best players for this Cookeville Cavaliers squad, a combined 4 points in the first half.
Yes, and that's difficult. You have to try to find a way to manufacture buckets for those guys. If you see that they're kind of struggling a little bit, especially on this stage, you have to have some play that kind of gets them jump-started, kind of gets them in the motion, and it gets a little more regularity for them.
And Kayla caught up with the Cavaliers head coach Josh Hurd at the half.
That's right, you guys. Josh Hurd told me coming out of the break, he said, we need to play with more heart in the second half. He said, definitely pick it more up offensively, but that's because our offense runs through our defense. I said, what'd you tell the guys in the locker room? He says, again, we need that Cookeville heart.
Thank you, Kayla. And we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, but we think all of Putnam County is here, and talking with Coach Hurd yesterday, and as Kayla mentioned, this is such a community event for this Cavaliers team. We talk about it, how this is their first state tournament in 70 years, and when you go back to 1954, it wasn't really a tournament, it was the sub-state.
Yeah.
So in actuality, this is the first time that this Cavaliers team has been this far in basketball ever, boys or girls.
Absolutely, and to get to this stage, not coming from a huge place, Memphis, Knoxville, Chattanooga, is even more a testament to how much work the kids and the coaches have put in.
Cookeville trailing by 6. They led by 3 at the end of the first quarter. They have got to get the Hurd brothers going. And right off the jump, an offensive foul against Jalen Hurd.
Well, you can tell that the coach fired him up at halftime. They came in being a lot more aggressive. Mr. Hurd right here gets him off balance going in, and just didn't see the big guy standing there.
In the game against Bartlett on Friday, Coach Hurd said he tested the manhood of his squad at halftime. And I've got a feeling that this Cavaliers team had a similar speech at the break here today.
Absolutely. This is the last half of basketball in the state of Tennessee for 4A, and you got to give everything that you got, lay everything you got on the line.
Lewis got to the rim but couldn't get it off the glass. Here comes Ayers in transition. Kick, 3 on the way, short from Jack Oakley.
That brings Cookeville to 0 for 4 on their last 4 shots from the 3-point line.
Jet Montgomery to the rim, and an offensive foul against Montgomery. That's 3.
That changes the game for Independence. Coach has to make a decision right now. Am I going to trust the senior guard to stay in and play smart basketball? Or am I going to take him out and try to see if I can maintain some of the lead without him in the game?
Montgomery stays in with 3 fouls. Just a minute into this third quarter. Josh Hurd, pull up 3, no. Skying for the rebound is Colin Ayers. And at 5'11", he is the leading rebounder for this Cookeville team. And Josh Hurd, head coach Josh Hurd, just raves about his athletic ability, says his vert is absolutely insane for being a 5'10", 5'11" kid.
And you can see it on his pull-up jump shot. He gets a little rhythm going, and then all of a sudden, bing, he's right in the air over the top of guys.
And how about the find from Josh Hurd to Bennett Reeves? And Reeves is in double figures.
And that's the thing that they were doing in the first half that allowed them to get the early lead.
Cookeville showing pressure out the jump. Transition 3 from Jalen Hurd. No. And Walling has the rebound. And that quick transition 3 is the name of the game for Cookeville. But here in tournament play, we see offenses, and well, as defenses get a little bit tougher, offenses slow down the pace a little bit.
Well, right now we're also fighting another fight of legs. They battled Bartlett all the way to the end yesterday, got a 2-point victory, and now you come back and you're shooting a long ball on the last day of the tournament, and you just got to have a little bit more energy on it, a little bit more lift.
Walling discarded Reeves, and then Reeves fouled him while he was on the hardwood. Third foul against Reeves, the leading scorer this afternoon for the Cavs. Lewis always looking to drive, muscling his way to the rim, too strong. 3 on the way, no, as bodies collide. Last touch by Cookeville.
Cookeville needs to be a little more patient on that three-pointer. They're not even giving guys a full chance to get down the court and rebound before they're firing it up.
Four-point lead for Independence as Cookeville showing their pressure defense.
Cookeville came out in a little 2-2-1 half-court trap, trying to change the pace of the game, not letting Jet come through, making sure that somebody else is the guy that beats them.
And how about the pass from Walling to find a cutting Montgomery?
Excellent pass off the UCLA cut with a late pass. Could have came to the side, circled all the way around, or curled all the way around, dropped a late pass off. Good basketball there.
See there the cold shooting for Cookeville as finally the drought ends as Josh Hurd knocks down a huge 3 for the Cavaliers.
Big bucket right there. I've been worried about Mr. Hurd since he got banged in the head by Lewis. Came back and right there shows that he's back in the game.
He hit 4 threes in the semifinal win against Bartlett yesterday to win it for his squad. He's got one here tonight to pull the Cavs within 3. But right now, Jet Montgomery and the Eagles are taking off here in the third quarter. The Blue Cross Basketball Championships presented by First Bank. Independence with a 3-point lead over Cookeville as we are halfway through the third quarter here, the 4A game. But it's just game number 1 of our Saturday quadruple championship day, starting early, ending late, and we have got some great games coming up for you. Up next at 1:30, Frank Hughes and Chattanooga Prep. And we got to get through this one as it has been as advertised. Two great teams, 30-plus wins this season. Both teams looking for their first state championship in boys basketball. The Eagles were so close last year. Independence losing to Memphis Overton in the final. And for Cookeville, this is the first time that this school has ever been this far in the TSSAA state tournament. Montgomery, pull-up mid-range jumper, short, and skying for the board is Jalen Hurd. And pushing it is Jalen. Going right to the rim. Ooh. And a hard tumble.
Very hard foul there, but he was going to the basket aggressively.
Foul's going against Hicks. It's going to be 2 against the big fella, as there's the coach for Independence, Mark Wilkins, from a coaching family. His dad, Mitch Wilkins, coaches the girls at South Gibson High School. They won their second state title just last week. And to do that, he had to beat Mark's brother David in the quarterfinal at Huntington. And then, of course, his brother John is the girls' coach at McKenzie High School. He's got a couple of state titles of his own. Jalen Hurd back up, knocking down the first free throw. 3 points for the junior.
Absolutely, going down the stretch here, all free throws, all offensive rebounds are really important, and that one got away from him.
2-point advantage for Independence.
Cookeville coming out showing a 3-2 defense, trying to make sure they cover the shooters on the perimeter.
Lewis driving, kick to Montgomery, and kicked it off the back of the rim. Hicks skies for the rebound.
There it is, offensive rebound, missed free throw on one end, offensive rebound on the other end, leads to a second chance opportunity against the best scorer in 4A basketball.
Just the first offensive rebound tonight for the Eagles, if you can believe it. Now the Eagles content to slow things down offensively. Montgomery, head fake, shorts it again. Here comes Cookeville, off and running. Ayers spinning, lost it, got it back, score!
Beautiful spin move, lost it a little bit, but still was conscious enough to grab it and still finish over the bigger Hicks.
And here come the Cavaliers. They have tied this game up at 31. And you know, Putnam County wants that gold ball. Heading back to the east as Colin Ayers, the point guard, spinning, staying with it, and tying this game up at 31 as Independence will take a timeout. High school sports fans, never miss another game. Subscribe to the NFHS Network to watch live and on-demand event coverage, game replays, and highlights from high school sports nationwide. Millions of athletes, thousands of games, one destination, NFHSnetwork.com, your home for high school sports. With Kayla Anderson and Vincent Yarbrough, I'm Jake Rose. Thank you for joining us on this championship Saturday, the Division I 4A state final, starting things off. And Vince, this game has been as advertised. Back and forth we go. Maybe a little bit low scoring than some folks might have anticipated with these offenses. But really, when you talk to these coaches, they hang their hat on defense.
Absolutely. And coming out and looking at these two teams, you would say, hey, man, they try to get them up in a hurry. Three-pointer, two-pointer, whatever it is. But if you see what they're really doing, they're out here forcing bad shots. They allow some people that they think are not capable of making shots to stay open, and the other ones they're covering, double teaming, or trying to force into a position where they take a bad shot.
Cookeville on a 6-0 run over the last minute and a half, and each team has gotten out to about a 3-point lead. Independence had a 6-point lead but could never quite get the gap where they wanted. And here we are after the 6-0 run from the Cavs. Long three. No good, and rebounded by Colin Ayers. That was Braden Buck, the shooter. And Cookeville turned it over.
Those may have been the two worst plays of the whole game. One ill-advised shot and one miscommunication. And to this point, they both played fantastic basketball. Let's kick those out and let's get right back to it. Yeah.
And this game has actually been relatively cleanly played from both teams. A combined 11 turnovers, 6 for Independence, 5 for Cookeville, and Montgomery was hit on the arm on the way to the rim.
Yes, he was. Good move there by Jed, able to hang in the air, contort his body, and still take the contact and get a shot off.
13th foul against Cookeville here in the third quarter.
Going down the stretch here, Cookeville has to look to Montgomery to try to take over the game. They have to supply some type of defense that allows him to keeps him or prevents him from getting into the middle of the lane where he's really dangerous, and then he has shooters all around him.
Foul is against Joseph Owens, his first, as Montgomery hits both free throws. And this is kind of the time as now Montgomery will take a seat with 3:01 to go in the third. But if you're either Mark Wilkins or Josh Hurd, you're kind of getting to the point where you kind of got to point at one of your best players and say, all right, take over.
Yeah, you do. But that was a fantastic coaching move right there to get Jed out of the game. I think he's going to go offense, defense with him. So as soon as the ball stops again, you should see him in. Any loose ball, he'll get back in on offense. They'll take him right back on defense to try to preserve him from getting that extra foul.
Colin Ayers loves that pull-up jumper. Couldn't hit on that one. 2.5 to go here in the third. Buck short again, and another offensive rebound by Houston Hicks. His second in the last couple of minutes.
Like you said, and only the second offensive rebound for Independence for the game, and right at the right time. This game is going to come down to who makes the most free throws and who gets the most defensive rebounds.
Miller, baseline drive, and off the fingertips of Jalen Hurd. Josh Hurd looking for an offensive foul, not going to get it as we take another look.
And I think that he was there.
Yeah, very physical game here tonight so far between these two teams.
They are
12 foul calls so far.
They are allowing a lot of contact, and with the size of these kids, you have to, because you don't want to give them something easy in a championship game. Like that right there, you could have called a bump. You could have called a little foul, but it's ticky-tacky, and in the game of this magnitude, you can't give a team a game. Yeah,
let them sort it out on their own. Ayers lost it on the way up. Hicks might have got a piece of it.
Same thing on the other end. Maybe a bump, but you got to be strong at this game.
Lewis has it taken away by Davis. And now Cookeville's going to reset with 1:23 to go in the quarter. Hurd to the rack.
Big-time players take over at big-time moments. And right now, he looked at his dad. His dad isolated him. He knew what he wanted him to do, and he took him downhill and got a bucket.
5 second-half points for Josh Hurd, and Mark Wilkins is going to take a timeout for Independence as we are tied at 33 with 1 minute to go. And let's take another look. Josh Hurd hitting the hezzy and then hitting the gas, getting to the rack.
Great time out there by Independence to get their best player back in the game. I think Coach looked around and said, "Where's Jet at? Oh, he's on the bench. Timeout. Let's get him back in."
Yeah, Chet Montgomery has been on the bench for the last couple of minutes, and we saw him on the bench for the last 2 minutes of the first half as well, but Independence had it rolling to close the first half as they led by 6. Today's game is also available for all subscribers with the NFHS Network mobile app for Apple and Android devices. Download it from the App Store or Google Play Store today. Start watching live and on-demand games wherever you are. Independence and Cookeville tied at 33 apiece. 1 minute remaining here in the third quarter. Neither team has been able to get a lead larger than 6, as both teams have been able to put the clamps down defensively on the other when they've needed it.
Yeah, just like we talked earlier, you took one team, I took the other team, and we both came out with the same points. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Like we said, it's going to come down to the little things, and that's what coaches preach about all year. How can we make sure that you have each other's back? How can we make sure that we're boxing out? How can we make sure that we're sharing the ball and taking great shots?
Quick shot from Buck, no. 3 from Miller, short. And then Montgomery hustling for the offensive board as the Eagles have gone ice cold. 0 for their last 8.
And now 4 or 5 offensive rebounds keeps them with second chance opportunities here in the third quarter.
And then none in the first half.
None in the first half.
30 seconds left in the quarter. Montgomery and the Eagles content to hold for the last shot.
Almost even play game. At the end of the half, you have Cookeville doing the same thing, holding the ball, and now you have Independence doing the same thing, trying to get a little blow, trying to get a little rest, and trying to get a little edge.
Jet with 5, pull up 3, got it!
Monster ball.
Jet Montgomery is money, closing out the third quarter, giving the Eagles a 3-point advantage with the pull-up 3 in the final seconds.
Huge shot. Should give Independence a little advantage coming into this fourth quarter. A little confidence from Jet, and we'll see how it goes.
Championship 4A basketball coming to you from the Glass House. A 3-point lead for the Independence Eagles after the three-pointer from Jet Montgomery in the final seconds of the third has given the Eagles a 3-point advantage over Cookeville. 3 on the way from Miller, short, and Hicks another rebound.
Cookeville has to box out. The game comes down to little things. Third quarter, you allow 4 offensive rebounds. Start the fourth quarter, you allow 1.
Montgomery fouled on the drive. Looks like it's against Jaron Davis. First team foul for Cookeville in the fourth, and the first for Davis. Independence was in this ball game a year ago against Memphis Overton, lost by 12. And ever since then, they've had the mantra of 13 more every workout, 13 more push-ups, 13 more sit-ups, 13 more free throws at practice. And they have let that mantra lead them back to within 7 minutes of a state championship. Lewis always looking to attack, looking to go against Davis. Spinning in the lane, and he's swiped on the way. And I think it's against Josh Hurd.
It is. Probably should have kept his hand out of there. Lewis made a great move, but the issue with Lewis is he's been having difficulty finishing around the rim. A little bit too strong sometimes, so maybe he should have let him shoot that without the little foul.
Davis hits the first free throw. Lewis, excuse me. 5 points for Lewis. That's his first here in the second half. The D1 prospect has offers from Bradford, Morehead State, and probably has a couple more coming down the pike. 4-point advantage for Independence, and now Cookeville looking to run their offense in the half court.
These have to be go-to plays right now. They have to get a bucket. They have to get the ball into the guys' hands that they've depended on all year.
Josh Hurd resetting as Josh Hurd, senior over there, pulling strings to get his offense where he wants it. Josh Hurd spinning, fading, in and out.
Fantastic move, tough shot, got to his spot on the court that he wanted. Dad, coach, explaining to him exactly what he looked for. He just couldn't execute it.
Miller back to Walling on the block. Walling slicing his way and one.
And here's where a little bit of the crack or the little bit of the separation starts. How do you stay together as a team when everything is going wrong? They're getting offensive rebounds, extra shots, and ones, and you're struggling to score the ball. So now how can you manufacture a bucket that kills the gap and gets you back into the game with a little momentum?
Fourth quarter free throws brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Walling misses the free throw. And Vince, you've been saying it for the last quarter and a half that this game's going to come down to free throws as Ayers, a lot of contact and no call.
That's a lot of contact.
Hurd knocks it out of bounds with 5:48 remaining.
But they've called it the same way the whole game. So by this time in the game, you have to recognize, all right, they're not giving me that going to the basket. I have to do something else, pull up a short jump shot, or kick it to somebody else that may be in a better position than just try to depend or force the referee making a call.
Montgomery from the corner.
Big-time players step up in big-time moments. Cookeville has to know that they're going to Jet Montgomery. He's their all-everything. He's their leader on the offensive end. He's their vocal leader. So make sure that you have somebody on him.
And all of a sudden, Independence has a 9-point gap. And fouled on the three is Jalen Hurd. Dawson Miller can't believe it.
And he has to come back and knock all three of these down to give them a little chance, to give them some momentum. Because right now, all the momentum's right here with Independence.
So Jalen Hurd, 3 points tonight for the junior. Hits the first of 3 free throws. I mentioned Cookeville started this game 3 of 4 from behind the arc, but just 1 of 8 since. And a lot of those shots, we know they like to take quick shots, but not really in the rhythm of the offense.
Yeah, they are. They're not bad shots. They're just quick. Like, they are open, but sometimes you got to settle down a little bit and receive that pass that you've been getting all year on a kick out instead of being in such an unfamiliar place and an unfamiliar surrounding and then trying to make shots. It all goes together.
And Hurd connects on all 3 free throws. And now here comes the Cookeville 3-quarter court pressure.
Here's what I would have liked to see the coach go to a little bit earlier. He had a little bit of success with making them speed up. Double.
Just a reminder that both of these teams only really go 7 deep. Lewis in trouble, just got it away. Now Walling on the block. Eagles with a 6-point advantage, happy to work off some clock here. Jet Montgomery with a game-high 22, his 3rd straight ball game with at least 20 points in this tournament. Montgomery couldn't get the roll, and Hurd was the last to touch it.
Little things, boxing out, rebounding. 4th quarter, Cookeville hasn't been the best team at doing it.
4.5 to go in the final quarter. Cookeville trails by 6. Stay with us on the NFHS Network. Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee move of the game, and guess who? Jet Montgomery doing a little up and under to get to the rim. He leads all scorers with 22 points, including that huge 3 at the end of the 3rd quarter to give Independence a 3-point lead heading into the 4th, and his Eagles lead by 6 with 4.5 to go. And the Eagles fans and the Cavs fans going back and forth during the break as Lewis soft the jump too hard off the glass. Cookeville moving quickly, and how about that dime?
Excellent find. Cookeville knows exactly what they're looking for when they get down the court. Sometimes it's a little bit too quick of a shot, but they know exactly how to execute and exactly what their coach is asking of them.
Cookeville almost came away with a steal. And now if you're Independence, this is where you want to work your offense and work the clock and not take any quick shots.
Yeah, they do a really good job, like the last possession, keeping the ball in the guys that they trust hands and making sure that Jet at least comes back to get the ball, and then he finishes out with a 20, 30, 40-second play.
Jet with the lob to Walling finds the hands of Lewis. Walling can't get the tap. Lewis can't come down with it. Who will? It's Jalen Hurd for Cookeville. Here come the Cavs, trailing by 4. Hurd. We're going the other way. Walling at the rim, no. Lewis with the offensive board, no. Walling, no. And then a jump ball.
It's a lot of contact on both ends. With Coach Hurd, I saw him throw his hands up because at this point you have to make sure that you're protecting the players, and I'm not sure that we're protecting them. They are playing hard and they're extremely strong physical kids, but you have to clean it up just a little bit or somebody's going to end up with an injury.
Hurd's 3, no. Jalen Hurd hit the deck. Still a 4-point advantage for Independence. Montgomery. Guarded by Hurd. Hurd's got about 6 inches on the 6-foot Jet Montgomery. Gets around him. Lewis, drive, kick, corner 3 on the way from Hicks.
That one, unless we can respond here from Cookeville, that may be the nail. Big time shot. Executed, ran plenty of time off the clock. They may leave 2 more possessions, 3 more possessions. So if Cookeville can't manufacture a bucket with this one, it's almost virtually over.
The first points on the night for the 6'8" senior center, Houston Hicks, was a corner 3 that could have been the dagger in the corner. As we get one more look, got his feet set, flicked the wrist, and all twine for Houston Hicks. Independence's all-time leader in block shots, and he might have just hit the biggest shot in Independence boys basketball history, as Independence now leads 45-38, 2:36 to go. So if you're Josh Hurd, the head coach for the Cavaliers, what are you drawing up right now for your squad?
Right now, I have to try to get something on the inside and get to the basket. Either coming back and putting the ball in Josh Hurd's hands and seeing if he can isolate and get to the basket and maybe get him on the strong side with the shooter, or draw a play where we can get some cross screens coming across, get an easy lay-in, not too much time on the clock, because they have to turn right back around and strap one of their presses on them, either that 2-2-1 or that 1-3-1 extended that they've shown, to try to get them back in the game.
Each team has 2 timeouts remaining. The possession arrow favors Independence. Dropping it off. Reeves couldn't get the up and under. And then Hurd called for the foul, 94 feet away from the bucket.
Yes.
Second foul on Josh Hurd.
Cookeville can lose their minds right now. They have to continue to play basketball. The game is not lost yet, but you have to get a stop and you got to get an easy bucket.
Just 1 for their last 7. From the floor is Cookeville, as Walling will bring it up. Here comes the double. And Mark Wilkins is going to use one of those 2 final timeouts with 2:13 remaining. So just 1 timeout remaining for Independence, as they have a 7-point lead. As we pull back the curtain to tell you about our player of the game, the Nobody Trashes Tennessee player of the game for the Tennessee Department of Transportation. I gotta imagine it's Jet Montgomery, the leading scorer tonight, with 22 points for the Eagles. His 4th straight ball game in a state tournament with at least 20 points. Had 21 in the state final loss last year, 26 in the quarterfinal this year, 23 yesterday, and 22 again tonight. And the Mr. Basketball finalists getting it done in all sorts of ways here.
Absolutely. We talked about in the open, could Cookeville slow down the Jet? And the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game, he seemed to, be feeling out the game. And then from there, he's put his foot on the accelerator and took his team to where everybody thought that they would be coming in. Cookeville, I think they expended a lot of energy last night in getting to this point, and I'm not sure that they have enough in the tank just to get over. Fantastic teams, but difficult to go back-to-back and playing really high-level games.
7-point advantage for the Eagles coming out of the timeout. Montgomery trying to create space, in trouble.
Right now, you just got to man up and even foul to stop the clock, because if not, they've shown that they're too good with executing their clock running, that it's going to just go down to 0.
And Cookeville will finally foul, not on purpose, but head coach Josh Hurd says that's all right. That's all right. We kind of needed to at that point anyway. Almost a minute worked off the clock.
Lewis's last trip to the free throw line, he was 1 for 2. So I guess they're hoping that maybe the same thing. They can race the ball down the court, try to get an easy 2, easy 3. Any score at this point is necessary. But if Lewis knocks these 2 down, it virtually puts it out of reach for Cookeville.
Cookeville is a 69% free throw shooting team this season. And Lewis hits both. 3 second-half points for the junior Tylen Lewis. He has 7. Minute and a half to go, and Cookeville's got to move, and Walling will foul Josh Hurd on the drive. First foul against Walling, and just the second team foul against Independence.
Independence is going to run the clock down. They have 1 team foul. With the new rules going in, you got 5 to 2 to get to 2 bonus. So they're going to let them play a little bit on the way to the basket. They're just going to foul them and stop them and reset it again at least 4 times. And
an extremely costly turnover for Cookeville. And the look on Coach Hurd's face tells it all, but he's telling his guys, hey, we got to play defense.
Yeah, it's not over till the buzzer goes off, but right now it's looking like we're at the bottom of the mountain, and it's pretty high.
Cookeville's going to have the foul sooner than later. Lewis almost lost it. Looking for a 10-second count. And they're going to give a timeout to Mark Wilkins. And that ball was definitely in the air when that timeout was called. And Josh Hurd is beside himself.
We have to see that one to see.
Let's take another look.
He threw the ball.
Well, certainly Independence did not have possession of the ball when the timeout was called.
That's a big call right there. Game may be out of touch, but tough luck right there for Cookeville.
So Independence leads by 9, 47-38, 1:09 to go, as Cookeville just 5 points here in this fourth quarter, and this is the second time that the Independence Eagles have really put the clamps defensively on Cookeville in a quarter when they allowed just 4 points back in that second quarter.
Yes, they are. They've had spurts where they've been terrific on defense. They've had a few breakdowns when they've allowed Hurd to get to the basket, but 85-90% of the time tonight they've been locked in, and they've allowed 38 points in a championship game. Like that's basically holding the team to 12 points a quarter, and that's what you want as a coach. Anything less than that, you got a chance to win every ball game.
Lewis guarded by Jalen Hurd. Cookeville not fouling just yet as we have less than a minute remaining. And now they've got a foul. And finally, Colin Ayers fouls Jet Montgomery.
Just the wrong person to foul. Like, you got to do everything that you can to not foul the D1 commit. Find somebody else. It doesn't matter who it is except the guy named Jet Montgomery.
Montgomery, an 81% free throw shooter this season, as these fourth quarter free throws are brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, as Montgomery has made this a 10-point ball game.
What you got to love about Jet is after every free throw, after every shot he makes, he gives the glory to God. And a lot of people are here to see Jet, but anytime you can reflect that and show who you are is big time as a player.
Three on the corner is finally good.
Big shot
from Jalen Hurd, and now Josh Hurd is going to burn a timeout. First field goal tonight for Jalen Hurd, the junior guard, as the lead is back to 8, 49-41 for Cookeville. And if you're the Cavaliers, you're still in must-foul territory, down by 8.
Absolutely, and it has to be quick. You can't allow 3, 4, 5 seconds to run off the clock before you make the foul. You're going to have to take it anyway, so make it immediately. Let's see what the result is from the free throw line. Let's race it back down, see what you can get on the offensive end, but you may have another 1 to 2 possessions before the game is out of hand.
Independence is 10 of 13 from the stripe today. That's good enough for 76%. They went 22 of 29 from the line in that semifinal against Rossview that really helped them gap Rossview in that fourth quarter. And if the Eagles can knock down probably just a couple more free throws, they'll really put this one in the bag and take home their first gold ball in school history.
Yeah, that extra energy really paid off for Independence. You could see it in that third quarter coming out where they got 4 or 5 offensive rebounds to reset it and kind of get their guys a little bit better rhythm. And then from there in the fourth quarter, Jet kind of took over, scored a couple big buckets, was able to get to the line for Independence, and it's just a little bit too easy from there.
Lewis with a touch pass to Montgomery, who picks up his dribble, and he's fouled. And he will 15th foul against Cookeville will send Montgomery to the line with 36.8 for a couple more Blue Cross Blue Shield free throws here in the fourth quarter. And Montgomery a perfect 8 of 8 from the charity stripe this morning. Game high 25 points to go along with 4 rebounds and a couple of assists. And he connected on 3 big three-pointers including the 3 to break the tie heading into this fourth quarter. As Davis gets to the rim and converts his first bucket tonight. And Montgomery fouled again, and he's going to get to 30 points before the night's over.
I doubt that he misses a free throw right now. He's locked in as ever. Showed up at 11 o'clock this morning, ready to put in work, and from there he's shown why he is a Division I basketball commit. He's been the best player on the court. He's been the biggest leader on the court, and the moments that he hasn't been in a game, you can feel that he wasn't in the game.
Montgomery, another free throw now with 27 points here tonight. Independence leads by 10. The 3 is in and out for Jalen Hurd. And a foul on the rebound as Josh Hurd took a tumble. Just the third team foul against Independence as you saw Josh Hurd go flying. 3 from Davis, kicks off the back of the rim. 10 seconds left and Jalen Hurd is fouled. And he will go to the line with 9.8 to go as Joseph Owens will check in as well as Bennett Reeves as the Eagle faithful can feel it. Less than 10 seconds away from their first state championship.
A lot of emotions right now. You hate to see it. Kids that have fought all year, done everything correctly to get to this point, and somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. But you just feel for the kids. You love it for one team. You know they did everything right to go get to this point last year. And then the fight back is a tremendous nod to the coach and the coaching staff and the commitment to the players from Independence.
And you can see the emotion on Mark Wilkins' face. This is absolutely a family affair. We're going to have to make room in the Wilkins family trophy case because the Independence Eagles, for the first time in school history, are state champions.
It's big time. And a lot of people may take this to be wrong, but Independence hasn't been a school that long. So they're a good team, and they have back-to-back state championships with the coaching staff they have and the amount of attention they pay to basketball and effort they put in. I could see them getting back a few more times in the next few years.
Independence finishes the year 32-6. The Region 5 District 10 champions, and now the Division I 4A state champions. And one heck of a season for the Cookeville Cavaliers. This is the best season in their school's long history. Their first TSSAA state tournament run since 1954. And man, I tell you what, Putnam County and the entire city of Cookeville really showed out this morning.
Yes, they did. Great support from both schools. It's almost, I would say, close to 50-50.
The NAHS Network. We'll be right back.
A 53-44 state championship victory for the Independence Eagles, their first in boys basketball. And let's send it over to our public address announcer, John Rice, to meet our Class 4A boys all-tournament team.
Josh Hurd from Cookeville High. Congratulations, Josh Hurd. Jet Montgomery from Independence High School. Come on out, Jet Montgomery. Congratulations. Jalen Hurd from Cookeville, all tournament for 2024. Jalen Hurd. Tylen Lewis from Independence High School. Congratulations, Tylen Lewis. And the most valuable player for 2024, Jet Montgomery, Independence High School.
And surprise, surprise, Jet Montgomery, your tournament MVP for the Division I 4A boys, and he has just been outstanding this season. 21 points per contest, headed to Southern Miss next year.
Pictures from our state championship.
4 straight ball games in the last 2 state tournaments with at least 20 points, finishing tonight with 28, leading the way for Independence.
Out of all those guys, he may be the smallest guy that was out there in that all-tournament team, but man, did he put on a display, and did he have the biggest heart. Like, he glorifies God, he does the right things. I wish Jet nothing but success in his future, and same thing to all the Independence players. Cookeville, I wish the same. Mr. Hurd will continue to go on the Lincoln Memorial, and hopefully he'll have a great career out there. And the other guys at Cookeville, hopefully they can fight and get back to the same point that they are. I know their coach is going to have belief in them, and I know this is going to put a fire under him to drive those guys and push them all summer and get back to this point next year.
And now the presentation of the runner-up coach's plaque, head coach Josh Hurd from Cookeville High. Come on out, Coach Hurd.
Coach Hurd in his 5th year as the head coach for the Cavaliers. Played his college ball at Tennessee Tech, where he was one heck of a three-point shooter. And he's got one heck of a team to be proud of. This entire Cookeville community has a team that they have rallied around all season, and they showed their support in a huge, huge way here this afternoon in Murfreesboro.
The Cavaliers from Cookeville High.
That's also big time for Cookeville. That's a feeling, that's a moment, a memory that you'll never forget in life. Sometimes it's a little more positive, but the feeling, and once you grow up a little bit to realize that you were one of the last 2 teams your senior year, 2024, to get to compete at the Glass House for the championship of the largest classification in the state, then you kind of take it with a grain of salt and realize that I was a very good basketball player for the time that I was there.
And now the presentation of the champion coach's plaque and the Wilson game ball. It belongs to head coach Mark Wilkins from Independence High School.
And Coach
Great
Mark
job,
Wilkins
Coach Wilkins.
has got his own hardware to show off at the next family gathering.
Sounds like he's low man on the totem pole right now. So.
Well, when your dad's got a couple of state tournament championships and your brother's got a couple,
but how good does his dad have to be to instill in all of your kids something that allows them to be champions? It's not every day that you get a championship. It's not every day you compete for one, even at the district level. But to be able to teach and breed something in your kids that allows them to go out and make other young men great is a hats off to that dad.
The great Mitch Wilkins, coach at South Gibson High School. Coached Mark Wilkins back in his playing days at Henry County High School. And Mark has taken what his dad has taught him and passed it on to his team at Independence as the Eagles have their first ever boys basketball state championship. Just 20 years since the school was founded in 2004. And the Eagles flying high on the way back to Thompson Station. Our thanks to the city of Murfreesboro this weekend for hosting the tournament, and to our partners at the TSSAA for all their hospitality. For our executive producer, Corey Steinecker, producer Skip McMillan, director David Dow, and for my partners, Vince Yarbrough and Kayla Anderson, I'm Jake Rose saying so long from Murfreesboro, where the final score this afternoon is Independence 53, Cookeville 44.